Alright, so these are the three things we talked about. Sorry, the three things that I told you we'll talk about. We just covered the first thing. And do you think that you can put a tick or a check next to any of these? Which one?
Yes, the first one.
Are you sure you can access and use QSkills Online Practice as a teacher?
Yes.
Can you put a check here?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Alright.
By the way, it's learner.
Sorry? Alright. Alright, now let's talk about the second part. How you access it as if you were learners. What's the use of this? Just to show your learners how to use them. Okay? I did it actually guided by one email sent by Mr. Mean here, Q&A. That's, I imagined a dialogue. If you remember the last email she sent you before scheduling. Okay? So, Q&A about how learners access and use QSkills Online Practice. Here we have the learner, and you can guess who this person is. A bright little kid. Okay, she's saying here, I'm glad I joined the School of Continuing Education to study the new English conversation courses. So the teacher tells her, welcome to studying conversation at AUC. Do you have any questions?
What a teacher.
The learner says, I have some questions about the book, about the conversation book. Alright, before answering any questions, did you get the book? And do you know what it is called? The girl said, yes I did. The book is called QSkills for Success. But there is no activity book accompanying it. I mean no workbook for me to do more practice on my own. This is a very hard-working student who would like to do more work at home. Can you guess who she is? Okay.
Your daughter?
My daughter. Yes, Maria. Okay.
She looks a lot older here.
Yeah, because the photo is there. So the teacher said, did you find an access card inside the book? The girl just said, do you mean this? Alright, the teacher said, yes, just scratch the gray area to identify the access code. So as you see here, inside the cover, the book cover for any student book, you have this access card, and there is a scratch area here. They scratch it to have the code. The code usually starts with the letter S, which is short for student. Yours, it starts with T for teacher, but I do it for you. And the class ID code starts with C, because this is short for class. Alright, so when you click here, you go to the same page. You remember the page I showed you at the beginning, this one here? Now, is the learner going to use this area?
No, register.
He hasn't registered yet. He is going to click on register. So after clicking on register, what happens? Next, you read the terms of use. Usually, before we use any software, any dictionary, any software here, we are asked to agree to the terms of use, a disclaimer. So this is quite traditional. They make sure that there is a tick here, a check here, and then they click on agree, and then they enter the access code that they scratch, and they click the word enter and then next. Here, they enter this access code after scratching it. I kept it unused. And after this, they click on enter, and of course next. Okay? Then they enter their personal information. For example, here they might write Yasmin and then Nomani, and then her email address ynomani@aucegypt.edu. Copy paste and retyping it here, just pasting it here. And then the password, it is this learner's password. He's free to choose it, and you will not even know it. Okay? Because it is his own website now. And of course, after this, he or she clicks next. Remind them to remember and record and save the password and the email in a safe place. When they do this,
Get the password.
if they forget the password, yeah, thank you for this very good question. If they forget the password, then after they enter the email and write the wrong password, or they have a pop-up question here, did you forget your password? Click yes, it will be sent to them by mail. That's it. So it will be sent, or I haven't tried it yet, but at least a password will be sent to them by mail. Either the password that they created, or a temporary one until they change it. So that's what they can do if they forget. And of course, after they do register, there will be some sort of a short demo, a small video. showing them how to choose the book. Ask the students to keep the video playing until they see this. After they see this here, they will be asked, would you like us to repeat the demo for you? No. Just click on the X button. Click on this one. And then select the book you're using. Of course, they will be shown 12 books because the Q skills here are not only, they come in two strands. Listening and speaking, reading and writing. What if one of the learners said, before you show him the rest of it, what if one of the learners asked this question? I want to browse all these books. Is it possible? Yes, it is. It's a good thing. But the teacher here answered, I will tell you later about how you can do this. Because the teacher would like the learner to focus on how to access and use the materials that he will be using with you at the level you're teaching. Let's select the book you're using, okay? Remember, you can add more books later on. When you select the right book, the following message appears. After you select the right book, you select one of these, the bigger image of the book you have chosen appears, and then you have the question, is this the right book or not? You click yes, of course, and then click on the word yes, and then enter class ID code. Why? The learner is given two options, either to enter the ID code or to skip this step. Of course, if he skips it, he has not joined any class. He's using the book on his own. He's an independent learner, which we advise him to do later on. But in your class, he has to enter the ID code that you provided him with. That's why I started with the presentation, how you access it as a teacher, so that you can give the learner the class ID code to allow him to be visible in your class. Alright, so he enters the code here. Next, you see your registration information. The next page, he'll see like a web page, including your name is, your email is, your class code is, and so on. Okay? He's supposed to press log in and then press next. What happens? He will be asked, choose the book you are using. This is an automatic message. Of course, he chooses the book, and then remember that he can add more books later on. Why is it important to mention this? Because suppose that the student is in level 6, for example, and he's using the last 3 units of this book here. He's going to buy a new book later on. Does he have to go through all these steps again? No. Simply use the same email, use the same password that you logged on with before, and add a new book. For example, he's using 3, so add 4. Alright? Using the access code inside the book. Okay? So that's adding a new book. Alright, after you choose the book, the student can see this page here. Again, of course, the student is allowed to do anything here. It's his own book, it's his own access card, he can play around the way he wants. Show him that he has some menus here. Home, which he's already on. Edit profile, in case he would like to change his email. Suppose that his email has been hacked and he would like to change it, or change the password, or do whatever he wants with his profile. And here to log out, that's too early for logging out, you can tell him to use this at the end. And help, as long as you have shown him how to use it, well, there is no use for this one, but actually this one is just a PDF file explaining very briefly how to use the website. And here we have the important area for the learner. Enter online practice, this is where he will do the homework, and then here view progress report, he will see his grades, and he cannot edit it.